Okay, we're live. All right. Thanks you guys for joining us. We're going to jump right into the presentation. You know, one of the things we love about Isagenix and what it's done for us as individuals and reaching our goals, both physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, but also just the quality of life that it's allowed us to live as a family and again, individually. All these things are important. And so we just want to kind of start off the first part of this presentation, just giving a brief explanation of that, because this is so much more than a product, so much more than a business opportunity. It's much bigger than that. It encompasses way more because of the environment and how Isagenix has set themselves up to support people. So we say it's not when you get an Isagenix, it's when you really get the spirit of Isagenix in you. And so we're going to try and hit those areas a little bit here in the beginning, and then we'll go into the problems with our food and our environment that lead to the health challenges, and then the solutions. And then we'll give you a couple different options on showing you how you could use the products and which product packs there are. And then we'll go into a question and answer. All right. Do you want to say anything there?
I was just going to say it's a lifestyle, a pretty fantastic lifestyle. So more than just a business, more than just a product, it's a lifestyle. It's fantastic.
Now, before we get into this, I just need to put the disclaimer. This is a nutritional supplement. We're not playing doctor. We're not MDs. We don't have a license to do that. And the FDA monitors that with nutritional supplement companies. And so even if my health challenges go away when I get on a health program that's nutritionally, supplemented, through supplements, you can't make any claims around that. You can't say, well, I'm not making a claim, but I no longer have my cancer anymore. You can't do that publicly, especially as a representative of the company. That would be illegal. I could be fined. The company could be in some serious trouble, cause them to be in jeopardy. So we're going to stay away from disclaimers and just say that are from claims. And just the disclaimer is that this product is for training purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any illnesses or diseases. All right. Okay. So my personal quality of life as an individual, my energy, my mental clarity, I didn't have any of that. Physically, I wasn't, in the shape and at the weight that I thrive at. And in spite of my best efforts in all of those areas, it wasn't improving. It was getting worse. And then that just caused some real imbalance in my life. And I really felt a lot of pain emotionally and physically as well. And that trickles over and bleeds over into family life, work life, spiritual life. All of that is affected by it. And Isagenix turned that around so dramatically. I'm not going to go into this story as in depth, but man, I was having a hard time, and I was working 14 to 18 hours a day. So the awesome part of this is that this story gets turned around. The not so awesome thing is that most people's lives don't get turned around because they never discover a vehicle that helps them to actually turn it around. And so we just work really hard thinking that that's what's going to turn it around, but it's not. You have to have the right support vehicle. So there's two important days in our lives, the day that we're born and the day that we discover why we're born. Well, I add a third day to that, and that's Mark Twain who said that. But the third day is finding a vehicle that turns it all around for you and allows you to manifest that purpose. And you've experienced that too. We watched our kids experience that, but do you want to share some of that as a family?
Just the dynamics of the family. Of course we were a happy family. We didn't realize all the stress we were under, I don't think, until it was gone. And just it's easier to breathe. It's easier to just enjoy life and to have the ability to help other people to do the same thing is really an amazing thing. And so it's something that we're passionate about, is to show people another way of life.
Yeah, I think everybody feels some kind, when you're deficient nutritionally, everybody's suffering in one way or another. And I went into this 5 levels of leadership already on the why presentation, but it really ties into the products and what I'm going to share with you today. It's the reason why we're as enthusiastic as we are, because it just helps to lift people up. It lifted us up, and then we in turn are helping to lift other people up in every area of their life. There isn't any area in our life that hasn't improved because of being with this company, the vehicle, and what it has to offer in a full circle kind of way. Now our lives are incredible. I mean, we literally live a dream life. I remember Jack Canfield saying one time on the movie The Secret, he says, our life is amazing. It's a dream life. And I couldn't say that back when before Isagenix. Now I can. And so there's a catalyst that causes that. And we want to tune in to what those things are. We want to do the things that successful people do because that's the catalyst. So we want to be aware of those things. So we're going to share with you what we've done with the products and kind of go through that journey and how that began the whole journey. The journey starts with the products. Anything else? I mean, our life is amazing, isn't it?
It's really amazing. If you notice in this slide before, I wasn't even in the picture. I didn't want my picture taken. So even that right there is an improvement, right?
Yeah.
Just from the product.
Yep. Now she's Isababe. Okay.
I won't go that far, but yeah, we have fun.
I will. I will for you. Okay, so the physical and financial pain always turns into mental and spiritual pain, and it just gets us out of balance in life. So, feeling like that pretty much all the time, we're able to flip it and totally turn it around, which is like a Cinderella story. It's like one of those unique stories that become basically publicized because it's so unique and so amazing. But this happens all over the place in Isagenix. It's happening again and again and again. I mean, it's a protocol of flipping people's lives around, and a lot of people. So John and Kathy Rhodes were in the same kind of condition. They were in dire straits. Their health was bad. Their finances were bad. But they got on the product, and they partnered up with Carrie and I, and they got on the product and had amazing results. And they felt that was the integrity that they were looking for to be able to share with enthusiasm. So their health turned around. Their finances turned around. In less than 2 years, they were able to pay off all of their back taxes, all of their financial debt, and credit, and just be able to get their health back. And they were honored for reaching 4-star in Isagenix, which is 168,000 to 278,000. So a year. So in 2 years, they were able to just get out of debt completely and restore their health. John is 68 years old. And then they shared it with Joseph, who is 83 years old now. And he was living in a school bus in the hills of Arizona. And because he had to, he couldn't drive. He had lost his driver's license because he failed the vision test, couldn't go upstairs on his own, and just was really on his last leg, literally. And he was getting about $200 from Social Security to be able to exist. So he couldn't afford running water and electricity. He'd dig a hole and put his food in the ground so that it would stay cooler. And he's been able to turn it all around as well. He bought an RV. He's driving now. He traveled around the country for about 4 months just supporting his team. And his biggest month is about $7,000 in 1 month. And so from going from $200 a month to $7,000 a month is a huge jump. But the thing about John and Kathy and ourselves is it's not the money that drives us. That's the result. That's the generosity of Isagenix. And people are looking for that in their lives. But what we're putting in front of all of that is what we're able to do to help transform people's lives. So, anything else?
Just to feel better. Our health is our wealth. And so even if we had all the money in the world and we didn't have our health, we wouldn't be anywhere. So health starts first. And it was a matter of days. Really amazing to me, the transformation that just the right nutrition made in just a matter of 3 days for you, Dave. And so we'll get into that.
Yeah, right there, right? I was suffering with my health, my energy, mental clarity, lack of mental energy, physical energy, just as bad as it could get, as far away from your goals as you'd want to be as an individual. And in 3 days, couldn't believe how good I felt on the product. And I asked that question a lot. What day did you feel good? Like you woke up, because Isagenix wakes you up, right? And people say day 3, day 2, day 4, day 3. It's always 5 or less, in most cases, that people feel that dramatic difference. If your health is really good, then you're not going to feel that dramatic difference, but you're going to feel an increase in something, because whatever people are doing, it doesn't compare to what Isagenix offers. So when I got on the product, thanks to my wife, Carrie, I was exercising like crazy right here. And you can't tell. I was at a plateau. I was riding my bike to work. I remember falling over my handlebars because the chain came off of my mountain bike as I was riding it home from work. I got a nice scar on the side of my knee, and 3 cars pulled over because it was that bad. And that's the effort that I was putting forth to try and lose the weight. For about 2.5 months, I was doing that. I lost 6 pounds.
Yeah, and you were eating oatmeal and shakes off the shelf of some store,
Yeah.
like protein shakes, and just being really strict with this diet, and it just wasn't.
Remember, we were eating tuna out of a can, no salad dressing or anything.
He was. I wasn't
Yeah,
allowed to
you
go
were.
to extremes yet.
So, and thinking that we knew what real health was and what we were putting in our body by the things we were choosing, right? That's the practical application. We didn't know that we didn't know. So I get on the product and they say, look, over 80% of your results come from nutrition. Well, I was getting no results, so that didn't really match up, thinking I'm getting good nutrition, but I'm not getting results. So here he's saying, look, your results, 80% or even more comes from your nutrition. The rest is exercise. And how extreme are you going to be in that exercise is going to determine how extreme you are as an athlete. But nutrition is more than half, the importance of the results we get. So he said, to prove a point, stop exercising. We don't teach people to do this, but I was working out, I was running stadiums at the college. And so he said, look, let's just get you on the nutritional products. Let's see what happens. And this is 25 days later without exercise, 27 pounds. 25 days. That's my personal results. We can't make any claims around you saying, yeah, you lose this, you're going to lose 50 pounds in 3 days. No, we don't say things like, this is my personal results. Everybody's different. I think the average weight loss in 9 days is, I think, 8 to 12 pounds, somewhere around there, on a 9-day system. And we'll go over what that is. But then I started exercising and working out. Well, and what was some of the things that was happening for us as a family in between these two pictures in just 25 days?
Just Dave had gone from coming home from work and laying on the couch until dinner was ready, and then not wanting to, or couldn't wait to go to bed, to the Energizer Bunny. He turned totally into someone with tons of energy. He was happy. He was, cleaning the stalls that we call them stalls.
The stalls, yeah.
Because he would get his work done and have nothing else to do, so we'd scrub the floors and all that kind of stuff. So it was really, the kids were kind of amazed, and I was just really happy because I got my husband back. The man I married was back. It was awesome.
My disposition changed, my attitude. Also, the energy I got, I was using stimulants before getting on Isagenix, lots of them. And that was part of my problem. But I was so tired all the time, I couldn't function without them. So it's either take them so I could pay the bills and get work done, or fall asleep. And so I was using those stimulants. When I got on Isagenix, he said, don't take those. You probably won't crave them after you do the program for a little while. If you do, then you can go ahead and bring them back in moderation, but just stop. And so I did. And by day 4, I had forgotten about them. It was like I had this epiphany, like, wait a second, what I needed every day, I haven't even been thinking about anymore. And my energy was through the roof. I was cleaning the tool room, that had never been cleaned. So it was a real energy. It was a real healthy transition for me.
Mine wasn't that drastic, but I was playing with the kids at the park instead of just sitting on the bench watching them play and hoping they wouldn't ask me to come play with them. So, there was a difference for all of us, really.
Yeah, all of a sudden you started engaging on a higher level. It's not that you were as bad as I was, but you engaged on a higher level with them. Yeah. And sleeping at night and waking up and feeling more energetic in the morning. So then I started exercising and working out, and I was not working out as hard in this third picture as I was in the first picture, not even close. And so Carl, my sponsor, was totally right. The nutrition is 80% of the results. So I went from being really frustrated to super excited, and I wanted to share. So Isagenix, solutions to transform lives. Now that's not a unique story. We see that again and again, and I'll show you some pictures later on. What I'm going to talk about is these 3 pillars right here. I already did the presentation that's recorded on Mechanic to Millionaire in YouTube, that channel, Mechanic to Millionaire, and I talk about product B by itself. So let's go into this nutritional lineup and just talk a little bit about the science behind it and how you utilize it. Most people have heard about your pH balance, or acidity versus alkaline. There's a scale that I'm going to show you in just a second. But our body needs over 90 nutrients to feed over 100 trillion cells every day. And those cells do things. They're turned into organs, and then those organs function in a certain way, just like your car functions in a way. Your ceiling fan functions in a certain way. All your different appliances, they function in a certain way. Well, they all need something to power it. Our organs need something to power them. Well, they understand now through science and nutrition that there's 90 essential nutrients and that those nutrients are missing. Food Matters says, I don't care where you're eating. If you're eating at Whole Foods, if you're eating organic, you're not going to get all those nutrients because they're not getting them from the soil anymore. So that's not a good place to be. We need 90 nutrients to run optimally, but they're saying you can't get them from your food. You have to supplement, and that's what Food Matters, the documentary, talks about.
I didn't used to believe all that, but the more I've learned, and actually it didn't have anything to do with learning as much as just watching what happened to you, especially, and just giving your body good nutrition.
Yeah.
And then I started to listen to the other things that people were trying to tell me.
And I don't know that I believe this either. Like if I would have heard this in a presentation, I would have thought it was kind of the pitch. And because I didn't have anything to compare it to that I already knew that was kind of along these lines, it wasn't something that I was thinking about. And so, what you're not up on, you're down on. And so I was basically down on this kind of stuff, just thinking that I could get it from the store. Like, why wouldn't I be able to? But as I had the results, that opened us up to really looking. And Jim Rhodes, I just got to give a shout out to him. He's such he's such a great teacher of being able to explain this in a very in-depth level. And so you can learn these things from the different conference calls, from the tools that Isagenix has. They even have a full-time certified nutritionist that you can talk to 5 days a week if you go to isaproduct.com and ask any questions you want.
And it wasn't just our results. Like the people that I learned about Isagenix from had their own personal results. They showed me their before and after pictures. And then we've watched thousands of people have similar results. And so it just proves itself over and over and over again. Yeah,
that was the one thing that really got Carrie to believe in the product, was because there's about 6 or 7 people at the booth at the expo where she found the product. And they were all sharing their own result rather than some person that didn't even live there. They had a poster of them. They all had their own results. So minerals are the key to absorbing everything else. They create the enzymatic processes for the cells to assimilate what we're putting in. And minerals are a big part of what we're needing as well. But if you're taking vitamins and you're not getting the mineral support, then the cells don't open up enough to be able to receive those vitamins. So think of a garage door. And if you only open the garage door a foot, you can't drive the car in. Without minerals, the garage door is not opening up all the way in the cells that then allow the vitamins and other nutrients to get in there. And that also enables the detoxification or getting the metabolic waste out of the cells, because they create waste that needs to be removed. So minerals are a big part of that. So you can see here, this is from the U.S. Department of Agriculture in 1997, the drop in minerals in the soil. And as a direct result, our systems not getting the fuel they need to run them properly, the rise in disease. So there's the direct correlation between minerals and the lack of them and the challenges that we get. So out of the 90 nutrients, 60 of them are minerals. And some of them are literally like missing, and then some of them are not there in the adequate amounts. So we're not getting enough of them. Linus Pauling said, every sickness and disease can be traced back to a mineral deficiency in the human body. Well, I've listened to him because he has 2 Nobel Prizes by himself and 48 PhDs. It's pretty crazy. So again, this goes back to that information that we were saying that, didn't really give much thought about it. Mm-hmm. Just thinking that, the top ramen would give you the minerals you need, right? And, Campbell's Soup does a great job at, promoting their soup and how healthy you get from eating the soup, and the sugary cereals,
iron fortified.
Yeah. So you're getting the stuff you need. Wrong. So here's the chart on the pH balance. At the top is going to be like chlorine and bleach. So that would kill you. And down at the bottom on the acidic side, we know that battery acid is just that, acid. So acidity is 0. So that would be battery acid. Both of those extremes are going to kill you. Your body maintains a pH balance just like your pool needs to maintain a pH balance with acid and chlorine. And when you put the right amounts in, that water is crystal clear, and it's keeping out the fungus and the algae and all that stuff that develops in there. So our body has its own regulating system to be like the pool guy who's going to measure how much acid it needs and how much alkalinity it needs. And the way it does that is through putting the nutrients into our body. So we're not putting literally acid or chlorine in. We're putting things in our body that are represented in those categories through foods. Like a lot of people think lemons would be in the acid side. They're not, because they contain so many minerals. They're alkaline, right? But we get that taste and we just think of acid, but it's actually alkaline. So there are foods that we can eat that are both acid and alkaline that will help our body's system to maintain that perfect pH balance. It's 7.0 to 7.5, and you can measure that with saliva strips. Now, when you start to drop below 7, your body's not able to keep up and regulate. It's missing something. So if it's missing minerals, guess where the pool guy goes to get them? From your bones and your organs. It starts to rob them. First, you have some storage, but then if you use up that storage, now it's going to start taking them from organs that also need them. And that's called acidosis. And these are some of the most acidic foods: processed white flour. The whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead. That's what Jim Rhodes taught us, right? You want to share some things that you learned about this whole process?
I mean, just I know about the litmus paper, and I would put it in different things at school, but I never thought that it was in our own bodies. But after learning, it just makes a lot of sense. So
yeah, it's kind of like math, right?
Yeah, and we should pay attention, I guess, but when we're eating the right foods, we don't need to, because our body knows how to regulate it on its own.
Exactly. We want a lifestyle that we don't have to like monitor everything all the time. I mean, it just gets monotonous and crazy and not fun. So people are putting things in their body in cruise control, but they're putting the wrong things in. And Food Matters says good health makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't make a lot of dollars. The pharmaceutical industry, the hospitals, when they're helping you with your wellness, they're making lots of money off of that. And we are ranked over 50th in the world for wellness. Now, I got banged up on riding motocross. We're in the top probably 3 in the world for fixing that kind of stuff. Like I had a shattered leg, and they went in and put plates and screws and things like that. We're really good at that. But when it comes to wellness, we're not good at that because we're not teaching people the right things. Why? Because it doesn't make them a lot of money. They couldn't keep the doors open teaching you how to just, supplement and then not have the issues so you don't have to come and see them anymore. It's big money. So processed white sugar, sugar cane, your body needs glucose to be able to operate your brain. That's the only fuel your brain runs off of. But when we process it, we pull those minerals out of it. And we actually it's more like a chemical. Filtered water, we over-filter it, and we pull all of the minerals out of it, so it becomes acidic. Now we're pouring acidity into our bodies when we think we're doing something good by drinking filtered water. We want to get the mineral water and the pH-balanced waters. Soda is 2.5 on the acidic level. You would die somewhere around a 4 on this. If you hit acidity level of a 4, and maintain that, your body would die. It would just break down and couldn't operate anymore. Coffee's a 3. Luckily for coffee drinkers, Isagenix made an alkaline coffee by putting the minerals and the things that are in there to be able to raise the alkalinity up on that coffee. So, people are literally drinking death. There are other things that we do need to be eating that are acidic, that are healthy for us, like grains and things like that, but we need to have the right balance, right? So it's pretty much impossible, Food Matters says, to maintain that pH balance, which is called homeostasis, where the body's getting everything it needs to operate properly. Now, we know that we need at least 90, that's about 90 different essential things that we already talked about. There's one other thing I was gonna say about that, with supplements. So people are going out and buying supplements in droves. Like that's the big, it's not a fad, it's important, and people are being educated, so they're going out and buying the supplements. The problem is it's not a strict regulated industry. They can have less than 10% actually of what they say is in it. They could be lower than 10%. And so CNN did a study, it was called bogus supplements. Every one of them that they tested failed. They didn't have what they said were in it. Every single one of them. And so, the more you learn about that, then it's like, well, where can I turn? I didn't feel much better when I took supplements. In fact, there's I'm not going to say the name of it, but a vitamin out there that has the name on it. It goes right through the digestive system, doesn't break down because it's inorganic. It's not organic, doesn't break down. It's like a rock. It'd be like swallowing a rock. Well, what's going to come out the other end in a bowel movement? The rock. There's literally pills that are vitamin supplements that come out that way. So what do we do? And that's why we're so passionate about this message and what we have to share, because it is the solution to these problems, because it can get very, very frustrating. In 1953, UCLA did a study on spinach being grown in the LA area. One bowl of spinach gave you one of those important minerals out of the 60, iron. Well, guess what? In 2007, it takes 51 bowls to give you the same amount of iron that used to be in one. Isn't that mind-boggling?
That's a lot of spinach.
You know, spinach growing out your ears. So this is the education that we need to have. This is not what the industries out there that are promoting, from the let's say some healthcare professionals in a certain part of the industry, they're not teaching us this. In fact, they don't even promote, they're not even excited when you ask them about supplements when you visit them. Every once in a while, you'll find one that is, because they did their own due diligence and they're about the truth. Anything you want to add to that?
No, just that it blows me away. And a lot of the foods that I've learned are just the worst foods, or ones I used to crave, and now I just really don't. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. On the, I'm just checking in on some of the questions here. Sorry, I go in and out, so I just get excited. What did you say? What was the last thing?
I just said I don't really crave those foods.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Love.
So on the pH scale, John Gray says acidic bodies crave acidic food and alkaline bodies crave alkaline food. So in other words, sick bodies crave sick food. So it becomes like this whirlwind when you're addicted to Snickers bars, or you're addicted to saltwater taffy, or you're addicted to ice cream or soda, because your body is wanting more of that, which it is. So the more acidic you are, the more you're craving those acidic foods. That's how I lost my craving for soda and coffee, is my body became alkaline and I forgot about those things. So the more alkaline I am, the more I'm going to crave and be satisfied by the healthier foods. So when I get a craving, it's for a shake. I crave shakes all the time. And when I say shakes, I'm talking about the Isagenix shakes, because they have the nutrients I need. We're the most overfed, undernourished country in the world. Well, we just turned that around. Now we're the most underfed, let's say calorie-wise and bulk-wise, but the most nutritionally fed. So we have this small amount of serving in a shake size, but it's so packed with organic nutrients that have a delivery system. And it's complete. That's a complete meal. Not in that we're going to put the things on the label to make it look complete. They're literally in there. And so that's why we get the results that we do from the shake. So that helps create homeostasis. Want to say anything? Sound like you're going to. Okay. So let's just go into these a little bit, these three pillars. The big thing about it on the practical application is it's created a lifestyle for us that is satisfying and very, very simple. It's not a diet. I didn't lose the weight through diet. I lost 53 pounds. And I don't feel like I'm on a diet. It's just my regular, normal routine. And athletes love it because they're at pretty much their fighting weight all year round, because they're able to balance the body out. And the body sheds the toxins, it sheds the fat, it gets rid of the metabolic waste, and you feel great. But you look great as well. Your skin's glowing, you have a good attitude. So that comes from our food. And so it's just a very simple but very satisfying lifestyle. So Isagenix is food. It's raw, it's organic, it's, if I leave the shaker bottle in the car and it's hot outside, after I've mixed a shake and drank it, it has the residue in it. What does it do?
It smells bad. It starts to ferment because it's alive, you know?
Yeah. It starts to smell like rotten food.
Yeah.
Now, so the shake is a complete meal, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but cleansing has a side benefit of weight loss. And this is what I was missing from my diet, is the nutrients that support the organs that cleanse. If you look at this, do you want to do this one? Do you feel comfortable talking about this?
Just simply, all of us have toxins in our system from the world that we live in. There's toxins in our air, there's toxins in our food, in our products that we use to smell good and to look good. And so we have these toxins in our body to protect our organs from the toxins, surrounds those toxins with fat cells. And so we gain weight. And then when you diet, you'll lose the fat, but the toxins stay inside, the impurities stay inside the body, so that now they're all over and they're in a higher concentration. And in order to protect us again, that's why we rebound when we diet. Pretty soon the cells are surrounded by, or the toxins are surrounded by the fats again, and we gain the weight back, usually more than what we lost in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when we cleanse, then those same toxins that are surrounded by the fat cells, the toxins are what's cleansed out of our system because of the nutrition that's put in the cleansed system. And so the toxins and the fat leave together, and our bodies are able to maintain that better weight. We have better health. We have that was what for you was like, I feel like a scab's been ripped off my brain. He felt like amazing in 3 days because all of those impurities that were just living in his system were cleansed out. I don't know about all of them, but most of them.
Yeah.
So.
And those are hormone blockers. Some of them can be. They could get in the way of neurological processes with your synapse. And so I literally felt like this scab was ripped off my brain, like Carrie was saying. I'm like, do you feel that? Like, is this how it feels to have mental energy and clarity? I even had that problem when I was younger. So Isagenix gave me what I needed and took out what I didn't need, what was detrimental to me. And that combination created a new me. It was awesome. I mean, I'm still just as enthusiastic. We haven't missed a day, have we, in 10 years?
I accidentally missed a day, and that was the worst day ever.
Oh, you were traveling, right?
Yeah, I forgot to take the shaker with me, I think. And so I was in Nashville without my shake, and my stomach, I felt that not just my stomach, my whole body, I just couldn't wait to go home to have my shake. So.
Yeah. And so Isagenix is food. That's a meal replacement. There's Carter at about 4 years old. I took a picture of him just right outside the door right here because he was drinking it and he had this like shake mustache. And he loves the shake. He would ask for him. And we came home from Halloween one night and, kids are going to eat the candy while you're doing that. And when we walked in the house, he said, Mom, I don't feel good. I need a shake. Because he, at that young age, yeah, he felt the difference of what it feels like to feel good. And you start to make that correlation. What do I put in my body that makes me feel good? We started him on the shakes when he was 2 years old. We get the protein, the undenatured organic whey protein from the cows in New Zealand. And the difference of that is they're not on feedlots. They're not given a high grain diet. They're not given antibiotics to keep them alive, because they're not on this high grain diet that creates the acidosis. They're not given the hormones to make them milk. They're milked when they're ready to be milked. And then John worked with the farmers on preparing the protein for the shake so it's not heated up. It's not under these high temperatures, which kill the enzymes, causes the protein become oxidized. Most of the proteins in the United States are actually creating an unhealthy environment. It was consumerreports.org. It was about 5 years ago. They tested 15 protein shakes off the shelf randomly, and they got the big ones, the big names. And all of them had heavy metals in them. cadmium, mercury, lead, arsenic. There was 3 of them that were big names that people buy because they're able to advertise because they were making so much money off of them. 3 servings caused an elevated level of those metals in them. One store pulled one of them off the shelf when that article came out. So it's the quality. We check every ingredient on every product every time it's dropped off to start to be manufactured. Every ingredient. And we look for contaminants. And we also look at the blueprint of the ingredient. Is it what we contracted for? Because we're going to the best sources in the world to find the best blueprint. The water, the climate, how it's taken care of. All of that matters on the quality of the actual ingredient. We spend millions of dollars on quality control. So we literally have a guy there when they drop off the ingredients inspecting it with the machine. It's called blueprinting. And then we also inspect for contaminants. So the quality is there. It's under $3 a meal. I mean, that's cheaper than Subway. That's the big thing that really shocked you. You started realizing our pantry was diminishing from grocery store food.
Yeah, at first I thought it would be a stretch to purchase this. We knew we felt better, so we wanted to purchase it, but I noticed that I actually had a better grocery budget or a better budget to apply the money to other places because we were spending less money on food that I used to think I needed to buy every couple of weeks. So it was really amazing.
Yeah, what happened is their cravings went down for the cereals. In fact, like potato chips, we still to this day have potato chips literally go stale because we didn't eat them before, they got stale. Before Isagenix, if you weren't there when we opened the chip bag, you didn't get any because they were gone in that instant. So our bodies maybe take a couple bites and then we're satisfied, and that comes from what was the foundation of that, putting this in our body every day. So when we were feeding our kids a half a shake a day, and they were saying, I'm not as hungry at lunchtime. And that's like $1.50, less than $1.50 a meal. And we noticed an improvement in their scholastic activities and around the house as well, just like it did for me.
Go ahead. I like the little seal
that says
cheerful cow certified. I like that.
Yeah, that's actually this seal right here. Those cows are literally happier, which when you're happier, you produce higher happy hormones. That goes into the milk. You're eating what mood and emotions the cows are having. And we have the highest amino acid profile in the world in any shake because of that. And it has its own built-in delivery system through the proprietary mineral process that John Anderson has become known for. So it's crazy. I mean, we save money on it. And this stuff is killing us. Food Matters said that, what did they say? Over 90% of Americans, as their staples, their breakfast, lunch, and dinner, are eating processed food. I didn't really believe that. It sounded like hype, but they didn't have any real reason to share that information because they weren't selling anything. It was a documentary on what's going on with the state of our food and why is our health declining. So they just made those correlations. When I go to the store, I got that email from them that said that. And I would look at what people were putting on the conveyor belt at the checkout stand. More times than not, I saw 100% of processed food. And that's just not good. That's not going to fuel your systems. And it's going to have things in there that are detrimental to your systems. We're in a health crisis. Ionic Supreme, you love Ionic Supreme. You just drink that straight every morning.
I do. I like the way it makes me feel. I like the taste. I wake up and I crave it. So you can go into why.
I was talking to Jeff Beebe, and he's over 50, and the guy looks like he's a 21-year-old ripped, fitness competitor, man. I mean, he is just ripped. He loves this. He says, I just take that every morning, and along with the other things that Isagenix has to offer. But this is one that he makes sure he mentions. There's over 100 active ingredients. You see some of those juices out there that really hit hard on one ingredient that does everything. There is no one ingredient that does everything. John Anderson knew it had to be a combination. So he found different adaptogens, different sources of nutrition that he learned from around the world where they were not having all the health problems we're having, and they're putting these different nutrients in their body on a daily basis. So he started searching those things out and discovering them. He's literally brought ingredients back to our health food stores that weren't here. That's the kind of player John Anderson is. Over 40 years of formulating for over 600 companies. So he put together this. If you go to allinonebottle.net, you can go in and click on each of these that talk about Ionic Supreme and what the health benefits are from them that have been proven through clinical studies and trials. And there's over 70 ionic organic trace minerals. Ionic trace minerals mean they're extra small, so meaning they're extra assimilated into the body. You're going to get more of it. Fulvic acid is huge. Fulvic acid, go in there and read about that. I'll just tell you a little bit. It's a transporter, but it's also a detoxifier. So when it drops off the nutrient to the cell, it removes the metabolic waste and takes it away from the cell. John Anderson, as Jim Rhodes said, is way ahead, years ahead of what anybody else knows about fulvic acid. It's in our products. It's pretty amazing.
As an athlete or someone who works out, chances are you've heard of nutrient timing. It's the nutritional strategy based on getting certain types of nutrients at specific times around your workout. Now, Isagenix is making it easy for you to take advantage of the latest science in nutrient timing with a new line of convenient products designed for athletes and exercise performance. We're taking performance nutrition to a whole new level with our new science-based and great-tasting line of amped products. This line of products is convenient and easy to use. Taken before a workout, amped power will increase strength and power to prime your body for maximum intensity training. For best results, pair it with E+ Energy Shot. For hydration and electrolyte status, there's Amped Hydrate. The vitamin-enriched sports drink comes in delicious flavors and helps maintain performance at peak level throughout your training. During extended workouts, re-energize muscles with Amped Fuel. The delicious and easy-to-digest puree also helps protect muscle during endurance events. After workouts, Amped Recover supplies your body with the necessary building blocks in amounts you need to speed exercise recovery and optimize muscle rebuilding. The product is best taken alongside Isopro or Isoline Pro Shakes. Finally, there's Amped Nox. It's a concentrate you can take any time of day before your workout to support nitric oxide production, blood flow, and delivery of oxygen and nutrients to working muscles. So you can go the distance in any training session or event. By timing your intake of nutrients before, during, and after your workouts, you'll amplify exercise gains and even speed recovery. You'll get more out of training every time, train more often, recover faster, and improve performance in your sport or favorite exercise. Whether you're a cyclist, a runner, a basketball player, or a power lifter, or if you just want your workouts to be more effective, Amped line of products will take your performance to the next level. The Amped family is part of your new Isagenix performance solution. For more information, visit teamisagenix.com.
Okay, so this is the new line that they rolled out just earlier this year. And man, we love it, especially this Amped Nox, which helps to get your levels of nitric oxide back to their range where they should be. There are strips for this as well, and as we get older, we become deficient in nitric oxide. And there was a Nobel Prize awarded around what they learned about nitric oxide and how it supports the body in so many different parameters. And in fact, it was the molecule of the decade or the molecule of the year or something like that. And so we use that every morning, don't we? It's like the first thing we go to. Then these other things, if you're a weekend warrior or you're just an avid, fitness enthusiast, or even on that competitive level, they put together this whole system, which, again, they never cut corners. If CNN would have studied our products, they would have said, every one of them failed except for these ones from a company called Isagenix, because we inspect every product that's every third batch that goes through, we inspect to make sure that what we said is in it is actually in it. Again, quality control. So you're getting the things that you need. You know they're getting delivered because minerals are going to be in these as well. If you take this stuff and you don't have the mineral support, you're not going to absorb it. And so all of this together just makes for taking things to a whole new level. You want to say anything about that?
The Amped Hydrate, I use that when with workout, but like on an extra hot day or just times when I drink a lot of water. I love water, but there's just sometimes that I can tell my body isn't absorbing it and I'm still feeling thirsty. And so I use the amped hydrate because it's full of the electrolytes that allows my body to accept the water into my system. So I love it for that reason as well.
Tastes good too.
Yeah, it's yummy.
Real quick here, I want to try and finish this up in the next few minutes. Still a little bit to go over. Dr. Paul Arcerio, who's published over 40 papers on fitness and nutrition, he did a study on our products, and he did it in comparison to the heart healthy diet, which is what the medical community offers. It's their best that they have in giving people getting them on a nutritional program when they see that that's going to be the solution or whatever. So if you look at this here, this was a 6-month study. We had 4 times more fat loss, 4 times more increased lean muscle. So you're gaining muscle while you're losing weight, increased metabolism. When people lose weight, they're usually shutting down their metabolism because they're starving it. And then the metabolism slows down to try and not burn off as much because it feels like it's in a famine. And then toxins released. He has I think he said there's only one other piece of equipment in the world that can measure toxins like I do. And so we're looking for that toxicity release while you're on the program. Because as you're losing the weight, we know that we're increasing toxicity like Carrie was explaining. And so it's important that those toxins are released. This is pretty amazing over here too. This was this one right here was an MRI view where they cut the body in half with the MRI. And they're looking at visceral fat, the fat that's in between the organs. That's the stuff that's really killing us. 33% more visceral fat loss than the heart healthy diet. 17% decrease in body fat. Average weight loss was 24 pounds. That's in 30 days. Average 9% increase in lean muscle mass and average 44% increase in toxins released. That's off the charts. It's like they weren't even comparing it to anything else. But they were, the heart healthy diet. Then they did a year-long study, which Dr. Arcerio didn't want to because this caused a big stir in that research community. Other researchers started citing his results. And he's like, don't do a year-long one because nothing that produces this kind of results, it backfires after 6 months. Every single time. And you want to pay me money to show that it's going to backfire and you're going to take my credibility away and I'm getting, this recognition for these kind of results. We knew because we've been in business for a long time, years at this point, and we know that we have maintained weight loss, maintaining muscle. And in the year-long study, it was the same kind of results. In fact, it was even more surprising to Dr. Paul Arcerio because we continue to gain the muscle, we continue to lose the fat, we continue to lose toxicity, we continue to increase metabolism and strength as well. That study will be released as soon as it's published in the journals. So wasn't that pretty amazing when he shared that information?
Yeah, the science. I mean, I love the results and the taste and all of that, but the science makes me really excited. And it's fun to hear someone who, that's his whole life is research, and he's published tons of articles and studies, and this one makes him the most excited. So, yeah. Can't get excited about that, right?
Yeah, and don't you just wish that everybody was stacked into that room as he was talking about, because it takes away any skepticism.
Yeah, you seriously I wish so-and-so, it's an amazing, what's the word, privilege to be a part of something that's so transformational and just so over the top in quality.
Yeah. And all this translates back to the practical application, the things that you and I are engaged in on a daily basis. And that's what we want for people, is to be able to be engaged at the highest level you can and save money, right? This is some pictures of some people that have been on the product. I love Spencer. This guy, look how ripped he is. And I know Spencer personally. Look at here. 126 pounds. So before 257 pounds, after she got down to 126. You don't see the hanging skin with our weight loss like you do when somebody gets gastric bypass, because they're not doing it nutritionally. They're starving the body and they're starving the skin of the nutrients it needs to create the collagen. If you're getting the nutrients you need, then your skin is getting the collagen. That's homeostasis, feeding that system that produces the collagen. And so the skin stays elasticy. Is that a word? Stays elastic. The elasticity is there, right? Like a rubber band. And so the skin sucks in. Look at this guy. If that was gastric bypass, this stuff would be hanging down, but it's not. You can even see his abs. I just love this. Even with kids, I had a 12-year-old, did 1 shake a day, had these kind of results right here. Look at this. Just the kind of belly fat that you think you're never going to lose.
Yeah. And it makes me excited too when I see people who can't gain weight, who are just really thin, and you have that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't gain weight, but then how much? I don't remember his results, but I remember that it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. He did the same program these guys did to lose the weight, but he gained 12 pounds of lean muscle. He was 82 years old. That's Everett.
Did he have a walker before?
He had a walker. Yeah, he couldn't go anywhere without his walker, and he couldn't drive. He doesn't have the walker. You can see him there. He's not using it. He said the grandkids lost it. They don't know where it is. So that's using the same program. We're not a weight loss program. We're a health program with the side benefit of weight loss, but also muscle increase, even at 82 years old.
It's homeostasis, right?
Yeah. So again, Isagenix's solution to transform lives. Those are the 3 we talked about right there. John Anderson knew that it wasn't there's no one magic silver bullet. It has to be a system. And then we talked about product B. Love product. I mean, what could I say about product B? Go watch that video if you haven't seen it. Yeah. So these are the different ways you can do the program. There's a jumpstart system. Like if you're going to have a wedding in 3 weeks, my personal results, I lost 12 pounds in 9 days. And then I did it again, and I lost the rest of the 27 pounds in less than a month. That was my personal results doing this system right here. 2 shakes a day, and then 2 cleanse days in a row. Now, I'm on my 2nd day of cleanse right now. So here I am 10 years plus into this, and I did a 2-day cleanse. We're going to Maui, hey, need the abs to show. So 2 cleanse days in a row, that's the most you can do. After that, it starts to become a detriment to your body. You start to muscle atrophy. It's not wise to do that. So 48 hours is the most you can do, but you lose more of the fat in that 48-hour period. The 2nd day, you increase the rate and amount of fat that you lose by doing that 2nd day. So the 9-day system does that 2 weeks in a row. And then you're doing 2 shakes a day. And then you're eating regular food. We're not asking you to give up some of those things that you love and that you want to continue to indulge in. We're not asking you to get rid of those things. It's a lifestyle. Isagenix, when we indulge, we know that the Isagenix nutrition is going to help get that junk out. Like when you want to cruise, you want to cleanse after you want to cruise.
Yeah, or during the cruise a lot of times.
We do.
Yeah, the thing is we indulge, but it's nothing like we used to. Like I used to take him at a buffet, and I can hardly even do 1 full plate anymore. Just it still tastes good for a minute, but it's crazy how my body has changed, and I'm getting older. You would think that would happen, when you're younger, but I just crave good food.
Yeah, and the super sugary, unhealthy desserts, we don't even go to those at the buffet anymore. If we do, it's just enough to just satisfy us and then say, okay, that's enough. Not because you're being disciplined and you don't want to get the weight back, because your body's saying, hey, that is enough because it's really not so healthy for you.
I get fascinated by how pretty it looks, and I just want to taste, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it puts you back in control. This is a 30-day system, probably the most popular system for people to start on. It really helps to develop the habit because it's a 30-day system. It takes like 21 to 30 days to create a habit. You're cleansing 1 day a week, and so you're going to see the weight loss as well. You're not doing the 48-hour cleansing. You're doing 1 day a week, 2 meals a day. You could either do 1 bigger lunch or 2 smaller meals along with your 2 shakes. That's how Kathy Cooper does it. This is the maintenance program. At least 1 shake a day and 2 cleanse days a month. We're always going to be in the environment that produces toxicity in our bodies. A study shows, and you can Google this, they find over 250 chemicals in newborn babies' umbilical cord blood. So that means that we're being exposed to these toxins all the time and they're not leaving. We want to cleanse on a regular basis, get that metabolic waste out, get the hormone blockers out of there, and start feeling good.
Didn't they used to say that couldn't happen?
Yeah, they used to say because the placenta is like this major filter. If your other filters aren't working, your kidneys, your liver, your lymphatic system, which are your cleansing systems that get the junk out. And they would say, well, if it gets past those, it won't get past the placenta. That's the major last roadblock to get to the baby. And it is now. They're finding over 250 chemicals every time they check. And that's just the ones they're checking for. There's probably others that they are not looking for. The shake and cleanse program is really simple. You're not even doing a full 24-hour cleanse. You're just putting a little bit in every day, 2 to 4 ounces, and then doing 1 shake a day. That's the simplest. That would be the bare minimum. Susan Sly, who's an incredible trainer, she says, Dave, teach people to do 2 shakes a day. They need the nutrition. They'll feel better. They'll run more optimally. They'll enjoy life better if they're putting in 2 shakes a day. We also have a vegan, dairy-free shake, which just came out with another 2 flavors. It's Harvest Berry. I think it's Harvest Berry is what it's called. I love that. And then they just came out with vanilla chai and chocolate. And then the shakes that are in the whey protein, they're chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and they come out with seasonal flavors. What's your best favorite seasonal flavor?
Pumpkin spice. Yes, in the fall. Fantastic.
They sold out of it in like 2 days.
Yeah. Oh,
Pumpkin spice. It was good. They had eggnog. They've also had one other one just recently. Pina colada, yeah. They're coming out with another seasonal one here real soon. So these are different ways you can do it. This is not a weight loss diet program, although it does produce those results. You're redirecting your grocery budget. So you're not buying groceries and then having to pay this on top of it. And it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Eat it all, and then if you don't like it for whatever reason, you can return it and get your money back. Try that with your local grocery store. You know, take the empty meat package back, take the empty cereal box back and say, yeah, I didn't like this. Yeah, but it's gone, sir. I know, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the way the box looks. It's an unconditional money-back guarantee, okay? So how do you get started? $29 a year. Well, it's $29 to get started, and then it's a $19 renewal, just like going to Costco. You renew your membership every year. So it's $29 and then $19. Along with that comes the opportunity, if you want, to share it with other people. You don't have to, but it's a great home-based business. You now, because you sign up in Isagenix with this wholesale account and you have a business included, you have write-offs now. You can write off your cell phone bill because you use your cell phone to do business. Anything that is office-oriented, your space. There's a lot of things you can write off now that you wouldn't have been able to. And it's legit. That's like legal. It's a home-based business. But it allows you to get the products at wholesale. And you can get any products you want individually. And there's a lot of other products that we didn't talk about. But you can learn about those at isaproduct.com, isaproduct.com. The whole catalog is in there with the ingredients listed. We want you to see what's in there. Share it with your nutritionists. They'll be blown away. So you can customize your own orders and your own packs and however you want to do that. So this has been a huge blessing for us in our lives in so many ways. And as we started sharing with other people, it gave us more of a purpose in life. Like I used to change people's oil for a living. Now I get to change their lives. That's a lot more fulfilling and a lot cleaner for my fingernails. But you know, some of our greatest fulfilling emotions that we get come from serving other people. And so when you go to share, you're literally stepping out beyond yourself and you're sharing with other people because of the experience that you had, and you know that you want that for them. That's called service. That's called reaching down and helping other people up. And that's what we're all about. So Carrie, last words?
Just, if I could just recommend one thing is just to try it. I'm so glad that we tried it. I mean, I entered a drawing and won, and it was the best thing I ever did because it's changed our lives that much. So I just give it a try. Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to check and see if there's any questions. We always have a question and answer at the end. I saw some comments as we were going through. Stephanie, pina colada. Yes. It could be just your local computer. It does that. Sometimes it sounds robotic. It will just be the local internet and just being jammed up with traffic, things like that. Oh, somebody said, yeah, it's so true. I don't crave that stuff as much at all. Love the shakes. It takes away their craving. Yeah, and I'm a big water drinker now. That's what I go to, where before I went to anything but water.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Everybody else was just commenting. So do you have any other questions? Oh, let's see. Oh, there's some others that I didn't see up here. I don't see it. Looks like it's been deleted anyways. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. It's on the freezing up. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll recycle the presentations that we've done. Now, we've done 3 weeks in a row on Tuesday night. Next week, I'll do the product B. And then, we're going to be in Maui. So Isagenix is treating their top achievers to Maui, and they really roll out the red carpet. We're going to Lahaina and to the Ritz-Carlton. And we were able to go to Paris one year, and I'm telling you, they just make you feel like you're a diva, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah. So much this company has to offer. The seasonal ones, it's just it adds variety. Rather than getting bored with something or falling into a rut or a routine, it
Creates
really
an
works well.
excitement and
Yeah.
urgency that just it's kind of fun. I think that's why they do it.
I asked them though, come on, we want the pumpkin spice forever. But there's strategies as a company for that, and it just has us to look forward to something. Like, I can't wait till the fall again. It's like waiting for Christmas. All right, you guys, we're going to check out here. Thanks for joining us. If you want to watch the recording, it will be up on YouTube, the Mechanic to Millionaire channel. So just go there, search Mechanic to Millionaire, and you'll find them. All right, thanks. Have a good night, everyone.